What's up, guys? Dragon Warrior BJJ. My name is Jonathan Tenbrook, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I'm going to be going over Attack on Titan. Let's get it. So what we're going to do is go through Attack on Titan. Anytime there's grappling or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I'm going to give my take on what I think they did and what could be improved on. Let's get after it. Woo. Okay. During episode 21, Eren is on top of the female Titan. And she does this. And we're slowing it down here so we can see this because they go through these very quickly. Eren is in top mount. Female Titan grabs the wrist, hooks the ankle, pushes the knee all the way out until she comes into butterfly guard. She still has the wrist. She pummels an underhook. She creates space with her feet. She kicks off the stomach, and she jettisons herself back up. So let's break this down into three categories. 1, preventing striking from bottom mount. 2, getting out of mount. And 3, what she could have done afterwards. So first, again, we're here. She's in bottom mount. She reaches up and grabs the wrist. This is not preferable. Whenever you grab somebody's wrist or reach up in general from bottom mount, you're leaving yourself open to attacks. Also, if you're talking about striking, if someone reaches up and grabs your wrist, all you have to do is allow your wrist to come towards your chest, lean your weight forward, and you can start throwing big elbows down over the top. So it's better if you're going to reach up to cup inside the biceps. C-clamp, right? You're going to C-clamp inside the bicep because now it prevents the punch and the elbow, but it's still not preferable. The best thing is to make a shield with your arms. You shield your head so you don't get punched, and as they go to throw any strike, you bump them with your bottom leg. So as you bump them forward, there's a moment where they're trying to catch their balance, and we're trying to fish to hook the foot like Annie did here, spoilers, on the foot. So instead of doing the wrist, I would bump them right here, but this is still good. I bump them, and then we can start looking to escape mount as she goes here into the foot hook, into where it would be half guard. She goes all the way to butterfly guard. So again, the thing that I would change instead of the wrist grip, I would go to the bicep or I'd shield my head and I'd bump them forward. So that's for preventing the striking. For the getting out of mount part, what she does is she's still holding the wrist, which I don't like. I would let go of the wrist, and again, that's why I bump them, is so I have two hands to help me shrimp or help me post an elbow escape in this position. So she has one hand on the knee, that's okay. And she's using her opposite leg to hook with a butterfly hook or the top of her ankle under the far ankle, which is super good. Most people use the back of their knee to hook the ankle rather than the butterfly hook because it's easier for flexibility reasons. So once you hook or once you catch with the back of your knee, either or, that's really good. You can start to shrimp. And usually what I would change here, instead of going all the way up to butterfly guard and sitting up, that's a very hard thing to do, we would end up in half guard with an underhook, and we would battle for the half guard position, trying to keep our ear glued to their chest so we don't get punched. She comes all the way out. She comes all the way out into butterfly guard here. Still has the wrist, which is crazy. And she sits up, which is crazy. And then Eren goes to punch, and she connects her ear to the chest, like I said, in half guard to prevent striking. She connects her ear to the chest. She takes an underhook, which also is weird and would be very difficult to do to prevent a punch to the face because all you have is a wrist to pull yourself in. But that's good. And again, I was talking about the third category, which is what she would do afterwards. My preference here with an underhook and a wrist, she has a butterfly hook inside the thigh. She's ready to sweep. All she's got to do is drop to her shoulder, drop towards the wrist, and either hold that wrist in the air or pull it towards her, and she has a sweep. But instead, she elects to put her foot on the hip and put her foot on the stomach and kick and jump up to get out. More realistically, you would go from bottom mount to half guard, And then from half guard, you could shrimp again to close guard or butterfly rather than one big movement like she did. That would be very difficult to do. But even if you could get the butterfly, more traditionally, we would be looking for a technical getup where you're posting or blocking a punch or a kick, and you post your opposite arm or elbow on the mat and your opposite foot on the mat. You kick with the bottom leg rather than the top leg like she did, and you would do a technical getup like we do in jiu-jitsu warm-ups. So overall, she did one more time. She grabs the wrist. I would shield or go for the bicep. She pushes and she hooks. That's totally okay. I'm for this. This is very good. She shrimps out, which is good, but again, would be really hard to do with the wrist, but so far so good. I would go to half guard here and then to butterfly, not straight to butterfly. That would be very difficult to do live against a resisting opponent. And then once she's out, she still has the wrist and she goes to an underhook, which is great. And she could sweep here because she has butterfly guard, or she could have just backed straight up and done the technical getup in the first place. And then she elects to kick him in the stomach, which is where I probably would have done a technical getup. There's nothing wrong with the stomach kick. There's videos out there of people doing it in MMA, totally okay. But it's more realistic to do a more traditional style where you're holding their weight off of you. It's very difficult to get your foot on the center of somebody's stomach and to kick them fully away and then for you to get up. All right, guys, now for the fun part, we're gonna rank this. We're gonna use this tier list from S to D to rank what we think. I had to generate these 4 random pictures, but for the first one, we have our mount escape. Every single time I go through a new video, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a picture, and we're gonna go picture, 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 and we're gonna keep ranking them. I may adjust the position of them as we go through and when comparing them to each other. But first, we're gonna do this mount escape one, and then I'll tell you why afterwards. So I'm gonna have to give this first one a B. This may seem low, but there's a lot of good things that happened here, and there was also a lot of things that could have happened that we could have done better. So I feel like right now it's good to put it in the middle. This may change later, but overall, the clip started. She grabbed the wrist, which is kind of bad. She did a shrimp, which shrimping is good, but she still had a wrist, so it was a little unrealistic. She hooked the foot. That was awesome. She came out to butterfly, which would be hard to do in one movement, but it's still okay. And then she missed opportunity with the sweep. So there's that. And then she did the technical getup, or she kicked instead of technical getup, which is okay. But overall, I think there was enough opportunities missed for it to not be an S or an A, but I don't think it was bad enough to put it down here. She still hooked, she still shrimped, she still took an underhook, she still had her ear to the chest, she still controlled the wrist, which is okay when you're in butterfly guard, and then she still kicked away, which if you have the athleticism, that's an okay thing to do. So again, for now, this may change later, but for now, and lastly, we're gonna go with a B. I want to give out the craziest shout out to whoever it was that decided to hire a professional to do all the grappling scenes in Attack on Titan. I'm giving this a B, but holy crap, just for having jiu-jitsu in it, it feels like I should be giving it an S. It just feels unfair to the other clips. But they did such a good job finding a professional to do this, just like they do in the John Wick movies and other things like that, where there's real grappling, real martial arts, real jiu-jitsu, things that work, not fake bullshit. So such a big shout out to the whole studio for putting the amount of effort they did into this to make it so great. If you guys like this video or this video format, let me know in the comments. If you have any other suggestions for other shows for me to watch and judge, also put those in the comments. And now I'm gonna keep watching Attack on Titan, and the next time I see some jiu-jitsu, I'm gonna make another video. As always, guys, till next time, let's get it.